Before the little pill you swallow every single morning to hold your blood pressure down. Before the doctor's cuff tightened on your arm and his face went quiet. Before anyone ever called it the silent killer, there was a food. A humble, common food. A thing so ordinary it grows in the dirt, so plain that a whole nation once wept in the wilderness because they missed it. It holds no drug and costs almost nothing. And yet, hidden inside it, is a power that scientists in real universities are studying to this very day. A power to help relax the very vessels your blood travels through, and to ease the quiet strain on the one muscle in you that never rests. Did you know that when the people of Israel wandered in the desert, fed on bread from heaven itself, they still cried out with longing for one particular food they had left behind in Egypt? Not gold, not luxury. This humble thing from the ground. They remembered it by name, and they wept for it. That is how deeply the ancients treasured this food, a food that is sitting right now in almost every kitchen in the world, and almost no one knows what it can do for a struggling heart. By the end of this, you will know the food. You will know the verses. You will know the science, the real science, with names and numbers. And you will know exactly how to use it, starting tomorrow morning, from something you can hold between two fingers. But I'm not going to tell you its name just yet. Because first, you have to understand the silent thing that is straining your heart while you feel nothing at all. And why the pill you trust, good as it may be, was never meant to be the whole answer. Stay with me. Sit down. This one is for anyone who has ever watched that cuff tighten and felt afraid. Let me tell you about your heart. It is the one muscle in you that has never taken a single rest. Not one beat of pause since before you were born. It beat while you slept last night. It has beaten through every joy and every grief of your entire life. And of all the parts of you, it is the one we treat most carelessly, and the one that most quietly decides how long and how well you will live. Now, your heart does its work by pushing your blood out through a vast country of vessels, great rivers and small streams and tiny brooks, reaching every corner of you, carrying life to every cell. And when those vessels are soft and open and supple, the blood flows easily, and the heart pushes gently, and all is well. The pressure inside stays low and kind. But when those vessels grow narrow, or stiff, or clogged, when the roads harden and shrink, then the same heart must push harder and harder to force the blood through. The pressure inside climbs. And that climbing pressure is what we call high blood pressure. Here is why they call it the silent killer, and why it is so cruel. You feel nothing. There is no ache, no warning, no sign. A man can walk around for years with his pressure climbing higher and higher, feeling perfectly fine, while inside, every single day, that rising pressure is straining his tireless heart, wearing on his vessels and quietly raising the risk of the sudden things we fear most: the stroke, the heart attack, the failure of the very pump that has never once let him down. It is a heavy burden carried in silence, and most people carry it without ever knowing, until the day the cuff tightens and the doctor goes quiet. And let me tell you what that silent pressure is doing all those years while you feel nothing. Because it is not only the heart it strains. Think of your body as a great house, plumbed through with pipes carrying the water of life to every room. When the pressure in those pipes runs too high, day and night, year after year, it wears on everything. It strains the heart until the muscle itself grows thick and tired. It batters the delicate vessels of the brain, raising the risk of the stroke that can steal a person's speech, their movement, their very self, in a single terrible moment. It wears on the kidneys, those quiet filters that keep the whole body clean until they begin to fail. It even damages the tiny vessels of the eyes. High pressure is not a problem in one place. It is a silent, rising strain on the whole house at once, and that is why, for all that it causes no pain, it is one of the most important numbers in all of your health. I do not tell you this to frighten you. I tell you because the silence is the danger, and knowing is the beginning of tending. A thing you understand, you can act upon, and there is so much you can do. Now, what does the modern world do about it? It hands you a pill. And hear me clearly, because I will always be honest with you. Those pills save lives, and I thank God for them. If your doctor has put you on one, you must not stop it, not for me, not for anything you hear in this video, not without speaking to your doctor. High blood pressure is far too serious to play with. Hear that plainly and hold on to it through everything else I say. But understand what the pill is and what it is not. It is a force applied from the outside, holding a number down. It does not usually touch the deeper reasons the pressure rose in the first place, the stiffened vessels, the hardened roads, the way we eat, the way we worry, the way we live. It manages the number. It rarely mends the cause. And that is where the ancient food comes in. Because it does not simply force a number down. It works with the body, helping the vessels themselves to relax and soften, easing the pressure closer to its source, the way food was always meant to tend the body. It is not a replacement for your doctor's care. It is the deeper, older, daily help that works alongside it, tending the very ground the pressure rises from. To show you where it comes from, I have to take you into the wilderness, to a people who had everything they needed and still wept for one humble thing they had lost. Let me take you to the desert. Picture it. The vast wilderness of Sinai. A whole nation, hundreds of thousands of freed slaves, camped beneath the open sky, led out of Egypt by the mighty hand of God. They had seen the sea split open. They had walked through on dry ground. And every single morning God fed them with a miracle manna bread from heaven, appearing fresh upon the ground with the dew, enough for every soul, day after day after day. And yet the people grew restless, and their memories grew short, and they began to weep. Not for their freedom, not with gratitude. They wept, the scripture tells us, for the food of Egypt. We remember, they cried, the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons, and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. The garlic. Read that list again, and notice what is in it. In the depths of their longing, fed by heaven itself, the thing they missed and named aloud was this humble bulb from the ground, the garlic of Egypt. It was so woven into their daily strength, so treasured a part of how they had lived and eaten and labored, that even bread from heaven could not make them forget it. There is a reason for that. Across the whole ancient world, garlic was not seen as a mere seasoning. It was seen as a food of strength and of medicine. Picture the great pyramids of Egypt rising against the desert sky, stone by impossible stone, under a sun that could kill a man. Hundreds of thousands of laborers straining and hauling, year after year. And what did their masters give them to keep their bodies strong enough to survive that labor? Garlic, rationed out to the workers daily, to fortify them and keep them well. And the old records tell us that once, when the garlic ran short, the workers laid down their tools and would not go on without it. That is how deeply they trusted this humble bulb. It was not a treat. It was, to them, the very fuel of strength. A medicine they would stop building the wonders of the world to demand. The workers who built the pyramids were fed garlic daily. To keep them strong and well through their crushing labor, it is written in the old records. Physicians of the ancient world prescribed it for the blood, for the heart, for the strength of the whole body. Kings and commoners alike reached for it. It was, in a very real sense, one of the first medicines of humankind. and it grew in the dirt, free for anyone. That is the food. That is the humble bulb the freed slaves wept for in the wilderness. That is God's blood pressure fix. It is garlic. Say it plainly. Garlic, the pungent white bulb sitting in your kitchen right now, that you have chopped into 1,000 meals without ever once thinking of it as medicine. It is one of the most studied natural foods for the heart and the blood pressure in the entire modern world, and it has been quietly tending human hearts since before history was written. And is it not just like God, to hide such power in such a humble thing? He did not put the great medicine of the heart in a rare jewel, guarded in a king's vault, where only the wealthy could reach it. He put it in a bulb that grows in the common dirt, that a slave could afford, that a freed captive could weep for in the wilderness, that sits today in the cheapest corner of every market on earth. The mighty gift hidden in the lowly package. That is his way all through the scriptures, the greatest things wrapped in the humblest forms, so that no one, however poor, would be shut out from them. The shepherd boy who became king. The manger that held the King of Kings, and the medicine of the heart, hidden in a bulb from the ground, free for anyone with the eyes to see it. Do not despise it for being common. Its commonness is the mercy. It means this gift is for you. Whoever you are, whatever you have, as near as your own kitchen, as cheap as pennies, as available as the dirt it grew in. Let me show you what is actually inside it, because this is where the humble becomes astonishing, where the numbers come in. And stay with me especially for the way it relaxes the vessels themselves, because that is the gift that gets to the very root of the pressure, and almost no one has ever explained it to you. First, understand the plant, for the plant tells you about the food. Garlic is a survivor and a guardian. It grows quietly underground, hidden in the dark earth, asking for little, storing up its strength in that tight white bulb. It has grown across nearly every civilization on earth: Egypt, Israel, Greece, Rome, China, India. And everywhere it grew, the people discovered the same thing: that this pungent bulb protected them. They hung it for protection, they ate it for strength, they pressed it onto wounds, they gave it to the sick. Every ancient culture, without speaking to one another, arrived at the same conclusion. That is not superstition. That is thousands of years of human beings noticing, again and again, that this food does something real, and that sharp, pungent bite, the very thing that makes garlic garlic, the smell on the breath and the fire on the tongue, that bite is not a flaw. That bite is the medicine. It is the sign of the powerful compounds locked inside, waiting to be released. The ancients could not name those compounds, but they could taste their strength, and they trusted it. And they were right. Now the gifts. I promised you the science. Here it is. The first gift is the greatest, and it is the one that gets to the root. Garlic helps the vessels themselves relax. Remember what high blood pressure truly is. It is the pressure that rises when the vessels grow narrow and tight and stiff, so that the heart must strain to push the blood through. Ease that tightness. Let the vessels soften and open and widen even a little, and the pressure falls gently at its source. The heart no longer has to push so hard. The strain lifts. And this is precisely what garlic has been shown to help the body do. When you crush a clove of raw garlic, it releases a powerful compound. The scientists call it allicin, born the moment the garlic is cut or crushed. And that compound and its cousins help your body produce a gentle messenger that tells the walls of your blood vessels to relax and let go. The vessels soften, they open a little wider. The blood flows more easily, and the pressure eases. This is not folklore. This is one of the most studied effects of garlic in modern science. Researchers have taken people with high blood pressure, given them garlic, often in concentrated, aged forms, and measured what happened. And in study after careful study, they have seen the pressure come down. Not dramatically overnight, not like a drug, but gently, meaningfully, the kind of steady lowering that matters greatly to a heart over the years. Real people. Real cuffs. Real numbers. Falling. I want to be an honest man with you. As I always will be. Garlic is not a cure, and it is not a replacement for your medicine or your doctor. It will not fix a serious case on its own, and no one should ever treat dangerous blood pressure with garlic and hope. But as a daily, faithful help, working alongside your doctor's care, tending the very vessels the pressure rises from, it is one of the finest gifts the field has ever offered a struggling heart, and it grows in the dirt. For pennies. That is the first gift, the vessel relaxer, and it leads straight to the second, because open vessels are only good if the roads they carry are also clear. Stay with me. The second gift is that garlic helps keep the roads themselves clean. It is not enough for the vessels to relax if they are slowly filling and hardening from within. Over the years, the roads your blood travels can grow stiff and narrowed by the build-up that comes with age and with poor eating, and stiff, narrowed roads are a great part of what drives the pressure up and burdens the heart. This is the slow hardening that the ancients could not see but surely suffered, and that we now understand so well. And here, too, garlic has been a friend to the heart. It has been studied for its gentle help in keeping the blood's fats in healthier balance, and in easing the slow stiffening of the arteries, helping in its quiet way to keep the roads clearer and more supple over time. A vessel that stays soft and open is a vessel that does not drive the pressure up. So garlic works on two fronts at once, relaxing the vessels today and helping guard them against the hardening of tomorrow. Do you see the difference between this and a pill that only presses a number down? The pill holds the number. The food tends the road. One manages the symptom for a day. The other works, quietly and daily, on the very cause. This is the deep wisdom of how God designed food to heal, not one lonely effect, but a whole chorus of gifts, each supporting the others. That is the second gift. And now the third, which reaches beyond the vessels to the blood itself. The third gift is that garlic helps the blood flow smoothly. Blood that is too thick and sticky, too quick to clump, moves through the vessels with more difficulty and more risk. And it is the sudden clot, the blockage, that lies behind so many of the strokes and heart attacks we dread. The ancients knew nothing of clots, but they knew that garlic was a friend to the flowing of the blood. And once again, they were right. Garlic has been studied for its gentle help in keeping the blood from clumping too easily, helping it move more freely and smoothly through the open vessels. But here I must stop and give you a serious word of caution, because I love you too much to leave it out. This very gift means garlic must be treated with respect. If you already take a blood-thinning medicine, and many people with heart trouble do, then adding a great deal of garlic on top of it could thin the blood too much. And that is dangerous. So hear me, if you are on any blood thinner or any heart or blood pressure medicine at all, you must speak with your doctor before making garlic a daily medicine in large amounts. Ordinary garlic in your cooking is one thing, concentrated daily doses are another. Wisdom, not fear, but real wisdom. Never combine powerful things without your physician's blessing. That is the third gift, handled with care. And now the fourth, which reaches into the hidden fire that stiffens the whole system. The fourth gift is that garlic helps cool the silent fire. We have spoken before, in other matters, of the low hidden fire of inflammation that smoulders through the modern body, and it touches the heart and the vessels as much as anything. That quiet chronic fire is part of what stiffens the arteries and drives the slow damage of the years. Cool that fire, and you help the whole cardiovascular country stay soft and healthy and calm. And garlic, that ancient guardian, is among the foods that help quiet this fire. It carries its own protective, calming power against the slow inflammatory wear that ages the heart and hardens the roads. So even here, beneath everything, garlic is working, cooling the very fire that helps drive the pressure up in the first place. 4 gifts now, all converging on the same tired heart. The vessels relaxed, the roads kept clear, the blood flowing smoothly, the silent fire cooled, all from one humble bulb, eaten the way the pyramid builders and the wandering Israelites ate it. And I would be keeping something from you if I let you believe garlic tends only the heart. This bulb is a guardian of the whole body, for the heart does not live alone, it is part of one whole, woven temple, and what strengthens one part strengthens the rest. Across the ages, garlic was the great protector against sickness of every kind. It was eaten at the first sign of a cold or a fever, pressed onto wounds to keep them clean, reached for whenever the plague or the pestilence swept through, and modern study has confirmed its real power against many germs, and its help to the body's defences. So the same daily clove that eases your pressure also stands guard over your whole body, strengthening the defences that keep you well. This is how God's medicines work, and it is a wonder every time. They are never narrow. A pill is made to do one thing and one thing only, but a whole food, grown from the ground, is generous the way its maker is generous. It tends the heart, and guards against sickness, and cools the hidden fire, and strengthens the body, all at once from a single humble bulb. When you make garlic your daily habit for your heart, you are quietly blessing the whole temple. But there is a 5th gift, and it is not in the bulb at all. It is the one the title of this whole matter points to, and the one the modern world forgets entirely. It is the calming of the heart itself. Because your blood pressure is not only a matter of vessels and chemistry, it is also a matter of peace. Think of what happens to your body when you are gripped by worry, or anger, or fear. Your heart races. Your chest tightens. And your blood pressure, you can feel it, climbs. This is no illusion. When we live wound tight, anxious, hurried, braced against the world from morning to night, our bodies pour out the chemicals of alarm, and those chemicals squeeze the vessels and drive the pressure up, hour after hour, day after day. A restless, fearful, never-resting soul quite literally raises the pressure on the heart. And so, the deepest medicine for the heart is not only a food, it is peace. It is the rest God commanded and we abandoned. It is the laying down of the day's anxieties. It is the trust that casts its burden on the Lord, rather than carrying it, clenched into every waking hour. Keep thy heart with all diligence, says the proverb, for out of it are the issues of life. The wise man meant the heart of the soul, but it is true of the heart in your chest as well. Guard it. Calm it. Give it peace. A quiet heart beats gentler, and pushes softer, and lives longer. This is the wisdom the ancients understood, and we forgot. They did not treat the heart as a mere pump to be medicated. They knew that a peaceful spirit made for a peaceful heart, and they tended both together. The garlic in the food, and the peace in the soul, together. They calm the heart in a way no pill can fully reach. And let me press on this a moment longer, because I believe it is one of the great hidden causes of our modern epidemic of high pressure, and no one speaks of it. We live in a state of alarm that no generation before us has known. We wake to a screen full of other people's crises. We hurry through days that never have enough hours. We carry our work and our worries into every waking moment, and even into the night. We are, so many of us, quietly braced from morning to bed, never truly at rest, and a body braced is a body whose vessels are squeezed, and whose pressure is driven up, hour after hour, day after day, for years. The ancients were not free of hardship. They knew famine and war and loss far beyond ours. But they had rhythms of rest we have thrown away. They had the evening, when the work simply had to stop because the light was gone. They had the Sabbath, one whole day in 7 when the striving ceased by holy command. They had the long, quiet, unhurried table, and the prayers that laid the day's burden down. Their souls had places to rest, and so their hearts did too. We have to build those places of rest again, on purpose, or our hearts will pay the price. Keep an evening that is quiet. Keep a Sabbath that truly stops. Learn to lay the day's burden down, as the scripture says, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. A heart that is not clenched in alarm all day is a heart that beats gentler and pushes softer. Peace is not a luxury for the soul alone. It is medicine for the body, and for the pressure, and for the tireless heart. Now let me warn you about the enemy, because in the matter of the heart, the king's table is not only tempting, it is deadly, and it is set on every corner. Nowhere does the modern table strain the heart more than through 2 things: salt and the manufactured food it hides in. You have heard that salt raises blood pressure, and it is true, but understand where the real danger lies. It is not mostly the salt shaker on your table. It is the salt hidden in staggering amounts inside the packaged, processed, manufactured foods of the modern world, the canned things, the boxed things, the fast things, the salty snacks engineered to be impossible to stop eating. A single modern packaged meal can hold more salt than the ancients ate in days. And that flood of hidden salt makes the body hold water, and swells the volume of the blood, and drives the pressure up and up. The ancients ate from the ground, the vegetables, the fruits, the legumes, the whole grains, the good oils, food that was naturally low in salt and naturally rich in the minerals, like potassium, that actually help the body release excess salt and lower the pressure. The modern king's table has flipped it exactly backward, drowning us in hidden salt and starving us of the minerals that would balance it. This is the hard word, and I will not soften it, because I respect you too much. Much of what is straining your heart, you are eating. And no amount of garlic can fully undo a diet built on the king's table of hidden salt and manufactured food. You must attack the pressure from both sides, turn from the salty, processed, manufactured foods that drive it up, and turn toward the garlic and the good things of the ground that ease it down. That is how the ancients kept their hearts, without ever knowing the word. Blood pressure. They ate from the field, they salted little, they moved their bodies, and they rested their souls. And you can do the same. Now I am a plain old man telling you that a bulb from the dirt can help do what the pharmacy promises. Let me tell you honestly where the science stands. Garlic is not fringe, and it is not folklore. It is one of the most seriously studied foods for heart health in the modern world. Researchers have run real trial after real trial, giving garlic, often as a concentrated, aged garlic extract, to people with high blood pressure and measuring their numbers against those given nothing. And the reviews that gather all these studies together keep reaching the same careful conclusion that garlic can bring about a meaningful, if gentle, lowering of blood pressure in people whose pressure is high. Not a miracle, not a replacement for medicine, but a real, measurable help, the kind of steady lowering that, over years, matters greatly to a heart. There are scientists today mapping the exact way its compounds tell the vessels to relax. This is happening now, in journals, in laboratories, in universities with names you would know. And notice the pattern, for it is the same one we find every time we open this ancient medicine chest. The laboratory is not discovering something new. It is confirming something ancient. The pyramid builders ate garlic for strength, and the wandering Israelites wept for it, and the old physicians prescribed it for the heart, long, long before there was a machine to measure a single point of pressure. Every year, science takes another careful step back toward the field and finds the old wisdom was right all along. The scientists are not wrong. Bless their patient work, I lean on it. But they are late. The garlic strengthened hearts for thousands of years before there was a word for the compounds inside it. Consider the long, unbroken witness of it. The Egyptians fed it to the builders of the pyramids. The Israelites wept for it in the wilderness. Hippocrates, the father of Western medicine, prescribed it to his patients. The armies of Rome ate it for strength and courage before battle. The physicians of ancient China and India wrote of it for the blood and the heart. Through every plague and pestilence of the Middle Ages, the people hung it and ate it for protection. And the grandmothers of nearly every nation on earth, who never read a single study, pressed it upon their sick and their weary out of a wisdom handed down through 100 generations. Every one of these peoples, separated by oceans and centuries, arrived at the same conviction about this one humble bulb. That is not coincidence, and it is not superstition. That is the accumulated testimony of the whole human race, noticing. Over thousands of years, that garlic does something real. The modern laboratory is only the newest witness to add its voice to that ancient chorus. You do not have to wait for the last study to be finished. You can do what the ancients did, what nearly every people who ever lived has done. You can reach for the humble bulb, starting tomorrow. Before I show you how, let me tell you who I am picturing as I speak, because maybe you are one of them. I am thinking of the man who was just put on his first blood pressure pill, and who feels quietly that a door has closed, that this is the beginning of a lifetime of medicines and worry, who was told to watch his diet, but never told exactly what to eat, or why. If that is you, hear me. Keep taking what your doctor gave you, faithfully. But know that you are not helpless, and the number is not fixed forever. Begin, alongside your medicine, to tend the deeper causes with the food of the field, and work with your doctor, and see over time what your own body can do. I am thinking of the woman who has watched high blood pressure run through her whole family, who lost a parent to a stroke, and feels the cold flicker of fear every time the cuff tightens on her own arm, wondering if that is her road too. If that is you, then take heart. So much of what drives this silent killer is not fate, but the way we eat and live, the hidden salt, the manufactured food, the unrelenting stress. You have more power over this than you have been told. Change the table, calm the heart, tend the vessels, and you may change the whole story. And I am thinking of the one who feels perfectly fine, no symptoms, no fear, and has never once had their pressure checked, and assumes all is well because they feel well. If that is you, then let this be the gentle word you needed. The silent killer is silent. Feeling fine proves nothing. Go and have your pressure checked, and then, whatever it shows, begin tending your heart with the good things of the ground before you ever have to be afraid. Whichever one you are, the food is the same. Now, at last, let me show you how to use it. Get your pen, this is the part to write down. Here is the beautiful thing, the same thing that is true of every real gift of God. The using of it is simple. But with garlic, there is one secret that makes all the difference, and almost no one knows it. The secret is this: crush it and let it rest. That powerful compound I spoke of, the one that helps relax the vessels, is not fully present in the whole, uncut clove. It is born the moment the garlic is crushed or chopped, when two things inside the clove, kept apart until then, are finally allowed to meet. And it takes a few minutes for that meeting to finish its work. So here is the rule that unlocks garlic's power: crush or finely chop your garlic, and then let it sit, untouched, for about 10 minutes before you cook with it, or eat it. That short rest lets the beneficial compound fully form, and it also helps protect it from being destroyed by the heat of cooking. Crush it, wait 10 minutes, then use it. That one small habit is the difference between garlic as a mere flavor and garlic as a medicine. Now, the simplest daily way. Use fresh garlic generously in your everyday cooking. But crush it, let it rest. It's 10 minutes. And add it toward the end of cooking rather than burning it at the start, so its goodness survives. A clove or two a day, woven through your meals, is a gentle and faithful help. For those who want the stronger, more medicinal way, there is raw garlic. A crushed raw clove, rested and then swallowed with a little water or mixed into food, carries the fullest power, though it is fiery and hard on a tender stomach, so go gently and never on a completely empty stomach if it troubles you. Many find it easier to mince the rested clove into a spoon of honey or fold it into food to take the edge off. And there is aged garlic, the form most used in the scientific studies, sold as a supplement, gentler on the stomach and on the breath, and concentrated for a steadier daily dose. For many people, especially those who cannot stomach the raw clove, this is a fine and well-studied way to take it. But now hear a serious caution, for I will always guard your safety. Do not store crushed raw garlic sitting in oil at room temperature, and be very careful with garlic left in honey or oil for long periods. For garlic kept without air, in oil can, in rare cases, grow a dangerous poison if it is not kept cold and used quickly. If you make a garlic oil or a garlic honey, keep it in the cold and use it within a few days, or better, make it fresh each time. Respect the strength of powerful things, and I will say once more what I said at the beginning, because it is the most important thing in this whole video. If you take blood pressure medicine, or blood thinners, or any heart medicine, speak with your doctor before you make garlic a daily medicine, and never ever stop your prescribed medicine on your own. Garlic is a help alongside your care, not a replacement for it. High blood pressure is measured and monitored and managed with a physician, and the food works best as part of that care, not instead of it. Now let me tell you the companions of garlic, for it was never meant to work alone. There is the olive oil, the guardian of the heart, which we have praised before. Of all the foods that modern science has confirmed to be a friend to the heart, few stand as firmly established as good olive oil. It helps keep the vessels supple and calms the quiet inflammation that stiffens them, and eases the whole system toward health. Make it the oil of your whole table, in place of every factory oil, over your vegetables, on your bread, in your cooking. And here is a happy truth. Garlic, softened gently in good olive oil, is not only two medicines working together, it is one of the most delicious foundations of good cooking there is. The medicine and the pleasure are the same act. There is the pomegranate, the jeweled fruit carved onto the pillars of the temple and embroidered onto the robes of the priests. It is dense with the deep-coloured protective compounds that guard the heart and its vessels against the slow wear of the years, and it has been studied, like garlic, for its own gentle help with the pressure and the flow of the blood. A handful of its ruby seeds over your breakfast, or a small glass of its pure, unsweetened juice, is a daily delight and a daily gift to the heart, though, like garlic, it can interact with some heart and blood pressure medicines. So ask your doctor if you take them. There are the potassium-rich foods of the field, the leafy greens, the beans and lentils, the bananas and the deep fruits, the humble potato eaten with its skin. Understand why these matter so much, for it is the other half of the whole salt story. Your body keeps a careful balance between salt and potassium, and it is that balance, more than salt alone, that governs the pressure. The modern king's table floods you with salt and strips away the potassium exactly backward. The field does the opposite, little salt, and potassium in abundance. So when you eat the greens and the beans and the fruits of the ground, you are not only avoiding the harm of the salt, you are actively restoring the balance that brings the pressure down. Turn the ratio back the way God set it, and the body answers. And do not forget the plainest medicine of all, less salt from the packet and the shaker. You need not live without flavor. Season instead with garlic, with herbs, with lemon, with the good things that heal rather than harm. Retrain your tongue over a few weeks to the true taste of real food, and you will find you no longer miss the flood of salt at all. And there is movement, and there is peace. A body that walks each day gently, keeps its vessels supple and its pressure kinder. And a soul that rests, that lays down its worries, that keeps the Sabbath and casts its burden on the Lord, keeps its heart from the constant squeeze of alarm. The food, the movement, and the peace together are the whole medicine of the heart. Let me give you a simple way to walk the next month, so you are not left wondering what to do tomorrow and the day after that. Daniel changed one thing, and in 10 days he was transformed. Give your heart 30, and let your own numbers be the proof, measured, of course, alongside your doctor. Each morning, begin the day gently, not braced. Before the screens and the rush, take a few quiet minutes, a breath, a prayer, the day handed back to God. A heart that begins the day in peace is a heart under less strain all day long. Through the day, eat from the field. Make garlic your daily habit, crushed, rested its 10 minutes, folded into your cooking. Olive oil on everything. Pomegranate seeds and deep-coloured fruits. Leafy greens, beans and lentils, rich in the potassium that balances the salt. And turn, one item at a time, away from the king's table of hidden salt and manufactured food. Read the labels and be astonished at the salt hiding in the packages. And choose the whole thing from the ground instead. Move your body gently each day. A walk, even a short one, keeps the vessel supple and the pressure kinder. You do not need to punish yourself. You need only to move faithfully the way the ancients moved through their ordinary days. And each evening lay the day down. Keep a quiet, screen-dimmed hour. Rest your soul. And once a week, keep a true Sabbath, one full day when the striving stops. For it is medicine for the heart as surely as any food. Take, faithfully, whatever medicine your doctor has given you, and keep your appointments, and let him measure your progress. Do this for 30 days, and watch, gently, without obsessing over every reading, how your body begins to answer. The change is slow, the way all true healing is slow. But faithfully walked, this is the road that leads a strained and silent heart back toward peace. Now let me warn you of the ways people rob this gift of its power, because I have seen it happen, and I do not want it to happen to you. The first mistake is eating the garlic whole and unrested, or burning it to death in a hot pan at the start of cooking. Do that, and you have thrown away the very compound you came for. Remember, crush it, rest it 10 minutes, add it late and gently. That is the whole secret. The second mistake is impatience. Garlic is not a pill that drops your pressure in an hour. It is a slow, faithful, daily help. And the studies that measured real lowering measured it over weeks and months, not minutes. Take it faithfully every day and give it the 10 days of Daniel, and then 30, and then make it simply the way you eat. The reward comes to the faithful, not the impatient. The third mistake is thinking the garlic gives you leave to keep eating the king's table. If you eat a clove of garlic and then a mountain of salty, processed, manufactured food, you are bailing a boat with the hole still open. The garlic eases the pressure from one side, your plate must stop driving it up from the other. Do both, or you will wonder why the help is so small. And the fourth mistake, the gravest, is treating the food as a reason to abandon your doctor. The garlic is a beautiful daily help. It is not a substitute for having your pressure measured, for your doctor's care, or for the medicine you may need. Never stop your medicine, never skip your checkups, never treat a dangerous number with garlic and hope. God gave us both the field and the physician, and wisdom uses both, together, get these right. The crushing and the resting, the patience, the wiser plate, and the doctor's care. And this humble bulb will do for your heart what it did for the hearts of the people who wept for it in the wilderness. Let me paint you the life I want for you. You wake in the morning without the low, quiet dread that has followed you since the doctor went quiet. You have been eating, for weeks now, the way the field intended. The garlic crushed and rested and folded into your cooking. The olive oil on everything, the pomegranate seeds over your breakfast, the greens and the beans on your plate, the hidden salt foods of the king's table left behind. You walk each day, you rest your soul, you take faithfully whatever medicine your doctor has given you. And slowly, not overnight, but slowly, the way all true healing comes, things begin to change. The cuff tightens at the doctor's office, and this time his face does not go quiet. The number has come down, not by a miracle, but by 1,000 small, faithful choices, working together with his care, tending the very vessels the pressure rose from. Your tireless heart, which has carried you your whole life, pushes a little gentler now. The roads are a little softer, a little clearer. The silent strain has eased, and you have done it not by forcing a number down alone, but by tending the whole temple, the food, the body, and the peace of the soul, the way God designed it to be tended. That is not a fantasy. That is a humble bulb, a wiser table, a calmer heart, and a faithful partnership with your doctor. It is available to you, starting tomorrow. Let me leave you with this. The same God who made your heart, that tireless muscle that has never once rested since before you were born, also filled the field with exactly what that heart needs to be tended. That is not coincidence. That is design. A father who knew, before you were ever born, every silent strain your heart would one day carry, and who hid the help in a humble bulb in the ground, so common and so cheap that even a freed slave in the wilderness could weep for the memory of it. Your body is a temple, and your heart is the tireless servant at the center of it. You get to decide, at every meal, how you will treat it, with the salty, hollow foods of the king's table that strain it in silence, or with the humble gifts of the field that ease and guard it. Keep thy heart with all diligence, the wise man said. Keep it, guard it, tend it, with the food, with the peace, and with the doctor's care, all together. So here is what I ask of you. If this reached you, if you have watched that cuff tighten, or carried the quiet fear of the silent killer, do 2 small things for me. First, tell me in the comments, how is your heart? Have you been told your pressure is high? What have you tried and what has helped? Say it plainly, and if you mean to tend your heart the ancient way, write 1 word, Amen, so I know you are with me. I read them, and someone else, carrying the same quiet fear, needs to know they are not alone. Second, if you want me to go deeper, the full heart-tending plan, the foods and the meals and the daily rhythm for a strong and peaceful heart drawn straight from Scripture, then stay close, for that is exactly where we are going, 1 faithful day at a time. And if you have not yet, subscribe and walk this road with me. There is a whole garden of these gifts still to uncover, and I do not want you to miss a single one. Somewhere in your kitchen right now, there is a humble white bulb that a whole nation once wept for in the wilderness. And within you, there is a tireless heart that has never once let you down. Tomorrow, let the one begin quietly to tend the other. Go and be well, and go and see your doctor. And tend your heart with both the field and the physician. And may the God who keeps our hearts guard yours, and give it peace all the days of your life.